Up here comes the drug mule, right on time. Hi. How you doing, drug mule? I know you're going around the back of the Pollock building. I mean, imagine that. You know what I mean? Friday night, the drug mule's around. Sandy Gill followed me downtown today. Said hi to me right on my police vest cam. I guess she expected me to talk to her or something. I just looked at her like she was nuts. Which, hey, everybody in town for the past 30 years can tell you, you know, what and who she is. But of course, they're telling all these, the people that they warned that John Whitehawk's filming you, they're telling all them, oh, we're going to get him out of there. Just give it a minute. Yeah, get rid of the whistleblower and not the crime. That shows you the corruption runs deep here in Pottstown. But the good news is all the text messages I texted this lady police officer and her phone calls and everything else to me has been sent to a lawyer. I made sure I videotaped everything, including her giving me her email address. I filmed it with my tablet, so when they don't do nothing and I get set up or I have to be evicted because of the Pottstown police not doing their jobs, well, this is all stemming into the corruption that's running deep. Zoning department, police, you know, all that. So you got Mark Jefferson in the Smith Towers, who grew up and went to school with the judge, has ties to all the meth trade in Pottstown, from what I'm hearing, from Wade Wilkinson and other people. He was friends with Wade Wilkinson, Mark Jefferson. They got fighting over a girl, this chatty Kathy out here in the street. I have videos of her on my Facebook wall. And now he's like not friends with Wade anymore. But of course, again, this was all meth related, meth ties. Sandy Gill in Pottstown has a black child, which would be grown by now. He's got to be in his 20s or mid 20s, 30s. So she has ties to Bird and that kind of like the crack in Pottstown, the marijuana, the meth. Again, Scott Ohm stopped across the street and she went right up to him and started talking to him for like 10, 15 minutes. Probably a client of hers. Again, she's a prostitute. And of course, I'm sure she is a client of his. He sold her drugs. So they're all like in on this together, and it's all tied to the police force. You call and report something in this town, they don't take care of the problem. They warn the people, hey, this guy's filming you. And they clean them off the block. Instead of making arrests, they get them off the block, you know, put them somewhere else, make them run like cockroaches, which doesn't solve the problem. All that does is create a problem and make me a target. Again, Sandy followed me downtown today, October 3rd, 2025, and walked past me and said hi. And then under her breath, she said, oh, that's right, you can't see, can you? You're blind, something like that. Again, caught on my vest cam. I carry a police vest cam with me. Sees in the dark. It's audio and video. First time I've ever seen her in the middle of town, downtown. She's usually, you know, like I said, spunk collecting up this end of town. So for cash, for crack, or whatever she's on now, meth, whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, it's just odd that I would just bump into her downtown. Now we got the, you know, mini bike guy who, the officer that I spoke to, she said, well, there's a lot of mini bikes in town. We don't know which one. I said, I know exactly which one. It's the loudest one with balloon tires on it and has knobs on the tire the size of, you know, as round as 50-cent pieces or bigger. I said, it's a grown man. He comes in and out of the motel down here. You know, the one where you have cameras and use your surveillance because it's the overdose motel. You know, he lives there. She didn't say nothing. Oh, we're investigating. Now I'm trying to make contact with her to let her know that further things are going on. Oh, you need to call 911. Well, I did call 911 about a week ago, and guess what 911 did? Sent out 2 Barney Fifes who not only did nothing to disperse the crowd under my window who was smoking weed and being loud and drinking, But they threw me under the bus. John Whitehawk's the one that called the police on you. So how can you trust a police force that's corrupt? Whether it's half the force, a couple guys, whatever. How do you trust them? How do you trust this woman police officer who now is blowing you up because her superiors are probably saying, look, just, placate this guy until we can get rid of him out of the building. And that's what they've been trying to do, shutting off the electric last month in August. They're trying to get rid of me out of the building. And that's the only thing I can assume, because no one else has moved into the building, and I'm the only one left. And the block, yes, has been cleaned up somewhat, but they're still allowing them to stalk me around town. At first it was the mini bike guy, now it's Sandy Gill, and who else followed me? A couple guys from Smith Towers, I think. They were older gentlemen. Followed me right to the store where I hang at, and I'm good friends with the proprietors and the guy that runs the place. So I don't know. They're checking me out real good. Here comes somebody right across the street now. I don't know what's going on there, but he's walking across the street. But again, that was definitely the mini bike boy. So he's around in the area at the back of, here comes a cop too, just went past my window. He's definitely around, either, drug muling or talking to Sandy Gill or something. So this is, this corruption is running deep. It's prostitution, it's drugs, it's all kinds of stuff. And I understand that the cops' hands are tied. There's only so much they can do. But calling the task force, they have enough undercovers running around here. I seen them tackle a black guy down there at the drug motel while I was staying there when I was homeless less than 2 years ago. And about 50 fucking unmarked cars, which in Pennsylvania or any state, you're supposed to have your vehicles marked with police or something on it. But here they popped out of their vehicles, and they were SUVs, they were trucks, they were, cars. Brand new, though. They keep them immaculately spotless. They had Kevlar on, and they had what looked like to me AR-15s, and they had one guy tackled to the ground, and he was probably the size, I bet you he wasn't over 5'7". He was shorter than that, 5'6", 5'5", skinny black kid. They were searching under cars, so obviously it was a drug thing. But there's all kind of undercovers all over the place. There was a house that just blew up a couple years ago, up a couple blocks away from here. And the ATF was here, the sheriffs were here, the sheriff's department. So even when they shot the Ecker boy, they had freaking armor-plated vehicles there because he had a gun and it was barricaded in a house, which I can understand, but where are they coming from? In other words, all these agents here, and they can't do nothing about the fucking trafficking meth in Pottstown? It's bullshit. Can you hear the dirt bike boy starting up? He's up here on the corner. Apparently the meth trade is full and operational. They just got to skirt my area so they don't get on camera. Because, the police don't mind. They're busy reviving the overdoses. Being EMTs instead of upholding the constitutional rights of others like me. There he is. He literally went right under my windows on the sidewalk. But hey, where's a cop? Oh, that's right, they're busy. They're investigating. Now he turned around, I think. He's now catty corner across the street. There's a house next to ACA. Or down a little bit further he stopped at. Across the street from me. Keep you tuned in. It's amazing how if he isn't muling meth all over, he stops at the Pollock building, the Smith Towers. Then he goes down here and stops right here at a house right near the church where they have a center there. There's a house, a red house, I believe it is, the color of it. He makes rounds. Now, what is he, a doctor? Is he on call? I don't know. Maybe he does house calls, right? Little moped riding doctor, yeah. Again, right under the nose of the police. So either he's a cop, he's snitching for the police, or he's a drug mule and the cops are in on it and they're letting him do it, or they're not in on it, and they're letting him do it to try to catch whoever's spying and selling the dope, which I already told him who it was. It was Scott Ohm. But here we sit. Okay. Who knows Wade Wilkinson? It's amazing how Wade Wilkinson has a brother who's a lieutenant on the force, and Mark Jefferson, who lives in the Smith Towers, went to school with the judge and knows him very well, from what I'm hearing in the street. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? How all these people were tied to the meth trade in Pottstown. Now, I'm not accusing anybody. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just telling you what information I'm being fed by people all across Pottstown. It's amazing. I'm fucking sick of this dramatic fucking soap opera over fucking drugs. Listen, the mayor, the judge, the chief of police, zoning, and the police department are turning this fucking town into a cesspool by not doing anything about this. We need the task force in here. We need to turn this fucking town back into the Mayberry it used to be, or as close as possible as it was to Mayberry. What the fuck are they doing? Sitting there with their heads up their ass, letting these fucking people run this town. It's ridiculous. The prostitutes and the fucking drug dealers.